Good day, class. I'm Mrs. ABUBAKAR NAOMI ADAMA from the Department of Plant Science and Biotechnology. Today in our PSB121 class, we will be looking at the history of plant science. And we'll look at the history of plant science under the following subheadings: the prehistoric time, the historic times, recent times, and we'll also look at the field plant science. Prehistoric times. The study of plants started from when early man left hunting and became a gatherer of plants which they found as food. Man further evolved to planting the crops, that is, the seeds of these fruits in one place, hence encouraging what is known as growing, or rather cultivating skill. After planting, they began to observe the time of harvest, the different crops or harvesting of the different crops, and hence begin to establish planting season, harvesting periods during the season. Man also learned how to use parts of or whole plant to solve his problem, either medicinal or medicine, cloth making, and any other useful product to human. Man started learning how to make use of plants to meet such problem. Now, these were some of the findings or some of the practices that took place during the prehistoric time. During this period, man is just trying to understand himself and its environment. Next is the historic times. Now, during the historic times, researchers or scientific discoveries started developing. History has it that great philosophers, botanists contributed greatly, in which their work is still of great relevance in today's society. Aristotle and Theophrastus are one of those botanists that contributed greatly in both identifying plants and describing them. Theophrastus, who is known as the father of botany, is said to be known for his great surviving work, two great surviving work. We have Reasons of Vegetable Growth, also known as Doocosis Plantarium, or known in the Greek language as Doocosis Plantarium, and we also have the History of Plants, the Historial Plantarium. These are some of the works, or these are the two key works that Theophrastus, the father of botany, did, which is still in use today. We also have works of Aristotle. Aristotle is said to be one of the teacher of Theophrastus, and he's also known as the father of zoology. But he also contributed greatly in the study of plant science. Another great contributor during the historic times is the Greek man Dioscorides. Dioscorides wrote a book known as De Materia Medica, in which he described 1,000 medicines, over 60% of which came from plants. He contributed greatly to the medical world. His work is still in use today. During the 17th century, we have a scientist known as Johannes van Helmont. He worked on measuring the uptake of water in a tree. We all know that plant needs water for growth. So this scientist put out experiments with his plants, and he was able to let the world know that yes, indeed, Plants take in water. They need water for growth. In 1727, Stephen Hales, an Englishman who is credited with establishing plant physiology as a science, published his experiments dealing with nutrition and respiration of plants in a work entitled Vegetable Statics. He also developed techniques to measure area, volume, mass, pressure, gravity, and temperature in plants. Still in historic times, we have Joseph Priestley. Joseph Priestley laid the foundation for chemical analysis of plants. All the metabolism reactions that take place in plants, these scientists laid the foundation. During the 19th century, advances were made in the study of plant diseases. And this came as a result of one of the attacks made by potato blight in Ireland, whereby millions of Irish were destroyed. Irish that were planted were destroyed due to the infestation of potato blight. Potato blight is caused by it's a fungus. It led to the mass migration of Irish to America because their land were polluted by this. And so this beginning to down on researchers that yes, indeed, even plants can be affected by diseases. And this led to the study or to the discovery of plant pathology, which deals with the study of plant diseases. And this has helped greatly in solving most of the challenges that comes with diseases that affect plants. Now, when the work in genetics by Gregor Mendel, who is known as the father of genetics, an Australian monk, was applied after 1900 to plant breeding, the development of modern plant genetics began. And this led to involvement or rather evolution or movement rather from the primitive nature, the conventional nature of dealing with plant issues into the biotechnological methods, because now with modern plant genetics within the your convenience, scientists or researchers can easily manipulate the genes of an organism. Here we talk, say plants, the gene of a plant to create a better variety. Now, still in historic times, during the early parts of the 19th century, progress in the study of plant fossils was made. The ecology began to develop as science in the late 19th and early 20th century, and this has helped greatly in the field of plant science. We know that certain plants went into extinction, but however, plant fossils really helped in the ecological study. Now, in recent time, technology has helped specialities in botany to see as well as understand the three-dimensional nature of cells. Genetic engineering of plants has improved agricultural outputs. Just like I said earlier, now within the shortest time possible, you find out that plant varieties can be created. and also within your convenience. The study of plants continues as botanists try to both understand the structure, the behavior, the cellular activities of plants in order to develop better crops, better varieties. Is it disease resistance? Is it stress resistance? All the introduction of technology helped in solving such problems. Find new medicines and explore ways of maintaining an ecological balance on Earth to continue to sustain both plants and animals. All these are some of the contribution of technology in recent times. We are talking about the history of plant science. This just shows how mankind started from trying to understand his environment and how he interacts with his environment, down to how researchers started developing ideas, and how right now technology is taking the day, to solve problems concerning plants. Now, our next topic is, what is plant science? What is this plant science that we've been talking? Plant science is basically the study of plants, that is it. And it is one of the major fields of biology, together with zoology and microbiology. Plant science deals with how plants are used to produce food, the food we consume, how plants alter our environment, they restore damaged landscapes, how plants affect human health and well-being, as well as how plants provide recreational and practical benefits to the public. This is all that is conveyed in plant science. Specialization within the field of plant science. This includes the study of mosses, algae, lichens, ferns, and fungi. Plant physiology, or a plant physiologist. This is someone that studies the vital processes of plants, such as the photosynthesis, the respiration, plant nutrition, which are one of the physiological activities that takes place in plants that will lead to the production of food. Without these key activities, there won't be production of food in plants, because plants will even cease to exist. We have the biochemist, the plant biochemist. Study the effects of soil, temperature, and light on plants. Plant morphologists. One of the work of plant morphologists that study the evolution and development of leaves, roots, and stems, with a focus on the tissues at the tips of stems where the cells have the ability to divide. A plant pathology study the causes and control of plant disease. So these are some of the specializations in plant science. We also have economic botanists. An economic botanist study the economic impact or importance of plants as they relate to human needs for food, clothing, shelter. We have a plant geneticist who investigates the structure and behavior of genes in plants and animal heredity. We have paleobotany. Paleobotany deals with the biology and evolution of plants by studying the fossil record in order to reconstruct the history of plants, the lifespan of plants on Earth or in this planet. So that's the function of a paleobotany. Thank you for listening.